they'd wake up about 2, they do sound check at 4, then they play the show. Is it,
Yes.
are they pretty sober before the show?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Are they partying during the show? I know probably initially it was a small...
Well, Tommy did. Tommy was a drinker. Tommy and Vince, of course. He would, chug his beers, and Nikki was an iced tea guy in his Jack Daniels bottle. Well, it was a prop for him.
Was it really? So that's a true story, huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They got that from David Lee Roth.
I want to take this time to say that this is real whiskey here. The only people who put iced tea in Jack Daniels bottles is the Clash, baby!
David Lee Roth was the first that I was aware of doing it.
Right,
and,
there was always that rumor that he did it. So that was even, that was tea and his...
Well, I'll tell you something. Dickie would bring a bottle of Jack Daniels out on stage with him every night. Sometimes his bass tech, Tim Lucy, he would have him dressed up like a priest, and he would bring the whiskey out like on a silver tray. And Nikki would take it, and it was actually Jack Daniels, and he would like crescent the audience with it, like you're blessing, like it was holy water. And he would not spray, but shake the whiskey bottle out at the crowd, and that was actually whiskey. Then he would take a swig of it and set it down. So there was, in fact, a live bottle of whiskey going around. But when he would like do a bass break in the song where it's just playing his one note, do 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 do, with one hand, and he'd take the bottle, chug it, and chug and chug, and bubbles coming, all going over his face. That was iced tea. So he was a showman, and kids loved it because they'd get their eyes burned with real whiskey 20 minutes earlier, and then he would have his chugging bottle of iced tea again for the props. So, but he didn't get all really. Vince would on occasion, especially towards the end. Vince started he was a beating.
Would party on stage.
Yeah, and once he got going, he couldn't stop. We'd get back to hotels and whatnot. And I can remember we were in Boston, and if you're familiar with Boston or not, they've got the Combat Zone is what it's called. It's the other side of the Commons, I think it's called. Anyway, it's a section of town in Boston called the Combat Zone, which is red light district, bars, pretty seedy. You don't want to be down there. Vince wanted to go down there more than once. Okay, Vince, let's go. We jump in the limo, and I'd run and tell him to stay in the car. I'd run in and try to do some advanced work, see what's going on, see what it looked like. Sometimes he would listen to me and wait in the car. Sometimes he wouldn't. He'd be right behind me. But I can remember him pulling chicks from the bar, going back to the hotel, trying to do whatever he does. And then I remember getting a call. All right, get these gals out of here. So I'd give them cab fare back to wherever they were going. I'd go back to bed. Then he'd call me back up. He says, Fred, I want bring your phone book here. I need some girls. I need some this. And I'd be so pissed. I'd say, well, what kind of girl do you want? You want a redhead? You want a blonde? You want a brunette? What do you want? And he'd say, I want all three. And I'd just say, fuck, okay, Vince. So I'd call some escort service or whatever and bring them down. It's $1,500. Shell it out, go right to bed. He'd wake up and things would be gone, his T-shirts and shit like that. But he was a piece of work.
You would think he had plenty of groupies or girls.
Well,
like
but it's like that. It wasn't the point. I mean, he did. But if he didn't insult them first, or whatever, I don't know. He was just a troubled guy, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. I remember in Detroit at Joe Louis Arena, I picked up this guy for a secondary security guy. He looked almost exactly like me. In fact, I saw a video the other day when we were in Sweden. Larry Kendall, Double L, we used to call him. Larry Kendall and myself both on the stage. And, we looked like bookends. And both had beards, both had the same shapes, length of hair and whatnot. Both motorcycle enthusiasts. He was a Vietnam vet. But one time the band got fed up with Vince, and Doc sent Vince to my room. No, Doc called me and said, go to Vince's room, which I did. And when I went in there, Larry was already in there with Vince. He was drunk. Vince was drunker and shit. And we're going on and on, trying to mellow him out and be cool and this and that. So Vince is at the window, and all of a sudden he says, hey, look, there's our bus. Where's our bus going? The band left him with the instructions, just get Vince to the gig the following day. And Vince went absolutely nuts because, Nikki and Tommy and the band management, everybody just got in the bus and left him. They said, fuck you, Vince, we're leaving. And Vince just went absolutely crazy. So when he did that, Larry fucking slams the door, grabbed Vince, picked him up and slammed him on the ground and said, you're in trouble now, man, because there ain't nobody in this hotel that loves you. There goes your management, there goes your tour manager, there goes your whole band, and scared him. It shook up Vince pretty good because we both did the good guy, bad guy kind of thing to him. And in the morning, we got him got him to the gig on time, and nothing was ever said about it. I can remember another time, Vince, he was drunk, and he was going to make a sandwich after the show, and he could not get, or maybe he had a mustard jar in his hand, and I think he wanted a particular type, or he couldn't undo it or something. Anyways, he reached back and he threw the mustard at the wall. Well, it came back and cut his hand. So now his hand's just split wide open, and he's bleeding all over the place. So Joni, our wardrobe gal, came running in there, and she dealt with it and bandaged him up. Well, the next day, Vince, he's very apologetic, and he's telling Nikki and these guys, well, great, man, I guess everybody goes home for 6 weeks till I get this. And Nikki looks at him and says, bullshit, but you're performing, man. And he performed with his, not really a cat, it was like a wrap, an ace wrap around his hand. And there's actually I've seen footage of him performing with this thing on his hand. He was, well, with me, we're all going home because the lead singer's cut, and Nikki told him bullshit.
So did
Nikki
you ride on the bus with the band or with the crew?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, with the band.